Good morning, good afternoon, good night. We are going to talk about divine light today. I'm going to do a channeled reading for the collective. Please take what resonates, leave what does not. I'm going to just start off with an opening prayer, if you will, just to allow myself to be an open channel for the collective. So if you'd like to, take a deep breath with me. Hi, Spirit. Please allow me to be an open channel for the collective. Please allow any divine messages to be clear for anyone watching this. Allow this to be a timeless reading for all, for the greater good of all and harm to none. Thank you. Alright, so we're going to start off with the Moonology deck here. Alright, I keep hearing take top 3, so that's what I'm going to do. So bottom of the deck, we have reflect on your priorities. Reflect on your priorities. This is in reverse, last quarter moon in Aquarius. So right off the bat, we have some Aquarian energy here. And then looks like we have talk less, feel more. Last quarter moon in Pisces. So Aquarius, Pisces, those are signs that are in the reading here. Take inspired action. This did come in reverse, and it's a full moon in Virgo. Then we have take a reality check. Full moon in Capricorn. Alright, so Aquarius, Virgo, Pisces, Capricorn. Right off the bat, I'm kind of getting, here, let me see if I can get all 3 cards over here. Alright, so right off the bat, I am getting a lot of full moon energy, which I'm feeling like it's time to just release. It feels kind of like we're resisting something. With this take inspired action in reverse, it's like we're resisting to move forward, we're resisting to take action, even though we know we need to do, just go for it, right? With the talk less and feel more here, I feel like we're big on saying that we want to do things, or we keep talking about the things that we eventually want to get to, but now's the time to do those things. You know, we need to feel it out and just take action on, you know, whatever is pushing us toward a bigger, I'm feeling goal, journey even. You know, with this take a reality check, it kind of feels like Spirit's driving you to, I don't know, if, like, go off the grid. For some of you, take a vacation, you know. There are ways that Spirit's going to give you a reality check, and a lot of it isn't as pretty, okay? So sometimes, like for me, example, I've had reality checks where I've unfortunately have gotten into a car accident. I really hope that isn't the case for any of you guys, but you know, those things also are reality checks. It could be you hitting a bottom, right? Like we all say, oh, I hit rock bottom. But sometimes those are ways of Spirit kind of just pushing you back to remind you that there's something that we need to reflect here before you move forward. And it could be that, you know, your spirit guides, your angels, and even Spirit itself is trying to stop you from harm, or, you know, maybe behind the scenes even push you toward those goals. But there's reasons why that things happen, you know, and we just have to take a moment and I guess feel out every step that's coming out. So I'm going to do a little bit of clarity here with the Chakra Oracle. Top 3 as well. Okay, so this one's clarified by visualization. And then this one's presence, and then this one is the base chakra. So for this deck, overall energy is card number 14, money in reverse. We do have finances, power, generosity, abundance. All of these are energy that's coming in with this overall energy here. Why it's in reverse, I'm not quite sure, but we can get some more clarity on this. So with talk less and feel more, it being clarified by visualization, it just kind of feels like we need to sit and manifest our dreams, right? We could do this through meditation, so that within our meditations we're imagining what that life and what that goal, once we do obtain it, what it's going to look and feel like, what it's going to smell like trigger all of your senses, you know, so that you can embody that now and be appreciative of that goal actually happening, that you're going to manifest it into reality, and eventually it's going to start becoming a little bit more obtainable, because you're going to see everything fall into place, right? One thing after another, Spirit is going to provide the next step toward that goal. Here we have presence with take inspired action. So with the take inspired action, it did come out in reverse here, and it kind of feels like the reason why that we're not taking the needed action toward those goals, or even toward taking more steps into what Spirit has for us, you know, the journey that Spirit has for us. A lot of us are resisting because there's a lot of fear there. It's almost like we have this internal battle that we're not good enough, even though we've been chosen to fulfill certain goals, right? You've been chosen, and if you weren't enough, then you would have never been chosen to begin with. You know, you need to tap into that self-worth and remind yourself that you are worthy of this journey, of this purpose. Okay, some of you might be feeling like, okay, now that I know what my purpose is in life, I feel like they're too big of shoes for me to fill. And that's just negative self-talk. That's just, you know, you being like, just, how do I say, you browbeating on yourself. You know, you feeling like you're not enough. And you, like, I don't know what we need to do here to get all of us into a better mindset of self-worth. If we have to do mirror affirmations, or just, you know, start practicing little things that remind you of who you are and why you are the badass that you are. All right, give me just a second. I'm going to take a sip of my tea. Okay. And then we have take a reality check, okay, with base chakra. So we're lacking grounding. Like, we're lacking to take a second and just ground. How do I explain this? Get back to a sense where you know where you're at, where you're headed. Be connected and one with the earth, right? Some people like to put their feet in the grass as a grounding technique. If you're by the beach, then you can go to the sand or the water. You know, there's ways of you visualizing that you're like a tree, or that you are, you know, stepping in grass for those that the weather may not allow for you to do so. There's a lot of different techniques in which we can tap into this base chakra, but ultimately it's saying that we need to connect with our roots. All right, bring us back down to like a mind, body, spirit type of balance. Okay, let's go ahead and get a more closing message here. Closing message for the collective, please. Thank you. So far there's potential. Unleash your inner potential and transcend self-limitations. Alright, what else? We have healing. Heal by confronting and addressing past wounds. Oops, sorry. And then last but not least. Okay, let's take those then. We have belonging. Find your true place where you are loved and accepted for who you are. And then this also came with it, but in reverse, which is intuition. Trust your inner guidance and make confident decisions. All right. I also want to talk about the overall energy here, which is empathy. Understand others' emotions and needs by listening with your heart. All right. So right off the bat, we're lacking as a collective empathy of one another. Like really understanding and feeling the needs and emotions and overall thoughts of others, where we've become so, in a sense, selfish, which, you know, there are times where we need to be selfish, but when it comes down to our energy exchange, our like really being present with one another and listening to one another, exchanging each other's energy, you know, we need to really listen with our heart instead of with our mind. It's almost like we're listening so that we know what to say next. Okay, we're not listening to listen to what the other people have to say. We're just listening so that we know what we want to say once it's our turn to speak. With this potential here, clarifying visualization and talk less, feel more. It kind of feels like we have a lot of potential to use our journey thus far to create some sort of empire for ourselves. We have the potential to tap into those really big goals that we never thought were obtainable, and they are obtainable. We just need to visualize and really believe it in our hearts that we deserve such a big goal, you know. But when we manifest and we have these really, really big, what we feel might be even unobtainable goals, it requires a lot of sacrifice when it comes down to what we have to give, okay? So don't think when I say sacrifice, it's so literal, right? We need to just go out and, you know, old school it. Like, I don't mean it that way. I mean, what in your life needs to be released, and what energy are you releasing to create space in your body to manifest all that's coming and to allow space for all that's coming. Because if you show up with, you know, this space where, oh, I'm limited data, okay, it's almost like you're a phone that isn't old, but you're becoming dated because your storage space is just not as big as the newer phones. You know, you don't have as much data space as the newer phones. So now that you're like filling up, you just have to go in your past like archives and to start deleting things to create space. Okay, so that's really what I'm getting here. Sorry, with the potential card. So next I want to talk about the healing. So healing is clarified with presence and take inspired action. Okay, so for this, it feels like we're playing the woe is me card, kind of. You know, we've been hermiting for too long. We've originally told ourselves that the reason why that we're hermiting is so that we can focus on our healing and confront like the past wounds that have been binding us from this like really altered way of thinking and believing. And if we haven't gone through it, or we're currently going through it, you will definitely feel the need or the push to focus on your healing. There's a lot of different ways that we go through our spiritual journey, and a lot of different ways that people heal. Spirit's going to take the wheel and show you the way of what is most comfortable for you and your body. Okay, this is definitely a difficult journey. There's a lot of ups and downs, but try your hardest to have a strong support system around you, and be gentle with yourself, because during this process our nervous system starts to become triggered, and we might lash out in a sense that it's not really us. Okay, it's not who we are, and we need to remind the people around us and the people that we love that we don't intend for our energy to come off this way or to even take it out on them. Okay, but be gentle and be aware of your actions and your reactions and your words during this time. Okay, be gentle with yourself and be open with the people around you, so that they understand why you might be acting a certain way. All right, so we have take a reality check with base chakra and belongings. So it feels like we're starting to feel like we don't belong in our current groups. Okay, and I say groups because some of us might be in multiple groups. Some of us might be in place ourselves in different categories. What I mean by that is there's support systems, right? For example, like some of us might be going to church, and then you have like your church group. Some of us might have like our girl group, or our family, or just a loved one, a friend. There's different ways of having a support system, and that's what I mean. So with this card belonging, it kind of feels like some of us who have been hermiting for too long have lost connections with what was once our group, and those who are currently in a group kind of feel lost because they no longer feel that they are belong to that group. They no longer feel like there's a lot of resonance in that group. Okay, it's almost like we feel like a puzzle piece in a bigger puzzle, but despite the colors looking the same, and even maybe the way that the puzzle piece itself was cut, we're not fitting in that group. We belong to a different puzzle. Okay, so Spirit wants to challenge you to figure out what puzzle you belong to. With this intuition card in reverse, it's almost like you're blocking yourself from even trying. Spirit really wants you to just get out there, and they are trying to tell you that I will send you where you need to go if you just trust me. But with this intuition card in reverse, it's like you're not trusting Spirit, you're not trusting the universe to have your back and take you to the correct groups, take you to the right support systems, take you to the right places to even tap into this full potential or focus on your healing, have a sense of belonging in a safe place. So I'm gonna go ahead and close out today's reading. I really hope that you found some sort of message here, and if you do, I'd love to hear from you. And I'm going to close out today's message with love and light today. All right. Thank you for being here. Bye.